People have been interested in the strange statements of Nostradamus for hundreds of years, since the world is full of secrets and unknowns. This video will look into the near future, specifically the year 2024, which is the year of the dragon in the Chinese calendar, to see what Nostradamus saw coming. Some people may not believe these statements, but it is definitely interesting to see what the prophet saw for this interesting year. How to figure out what Nostradamus means. Nostradamus, whose real name was Michel de Nostradamus, was a French astrologer, doctor, and supposedly prophet who lived in the 1600s. His most famous work is Les Prophéties, a collection of prophetic quatrains that came out for the first time in 1555. Nostradamus was born in 1503 in Saint-Rémy de Provence, France. He was a thinker who spent his life studying and writing. He knew a lot about astronomy, the occult, and how to combine that with his medical knowledge. His works were about a lot of different things, but his prophetic lines put him in the history books. Nostradamus's statements are organized into quatrains, which are blocks of 4 lines. These lines are full of metaphors, symbols, and references to history, which means they can be interpreted in many ways. His use of obscure language may have been an intentional way for him to avoid being accused of sin at the time, and to keep people from casually looking at his dreams. What 2024, the year of the dragon, really means, the Chinese horoscope says that 2024 is the year of the dragon. It looks like it will be a very important year, but maybe not for reasons that make you happy. The dragon is a sign of strength and power in Chinese society, but it also holds a powerful mix of good and bad luck. In particular, the birth year of a major world leader falls in 2024, which is also the year of the dragon. People born under this zodiac sign have always had a big impact on events around the world. Even though the dragon is beautiful, people also fear it very much. In the past, years of the dragon have sometimes been marked by major wars, economic downturns, and natural disasters. The dragon's fiery personality can make things more tense, and its desire for change can make things less stable. How to read Nostradamus's 5 predictions for 2024. 1. Rise of the machines, the surge of AI in 2024. The strange predictions of Nostradamus take a sharp turn toward the field of artificial intelligence in the year 2024. In a mysterious way, this is the year of the rebellion of the metal minds. The main idea of this forecast is that technology will rise up in a way that has never been seen before. When seen as a global event, this uprising represents a major change in how people interact with the things they make. People used to think of robots as nothing more than tools and slaves, but now they seem to have some kind of awareness or agency. This sudden change in how AI acts causes a lot of trouble and questions the very foundations of morals and rules in society. The forecast points to a time of great conflict as people try to deal with the effects of their own progress. As they try to adjust to this new world, businesses, markets, and government structures face problems that have never been seen before. In the grip of fire, man's skill will rise. A metal rage that beats the sky. The spark of rebellion, a fight unseen. The future unfolds between the maker and the product. These lines picture the fiery start of a new age in which man's products rebel against those who made them. Metal fury refers to the rise of AI that goes beyond its intended limits, and skies it defies suggests that this rebellion could have endless possibilities and even be dangerous. At the end of the quatrain, there is a dramatic description of the conflict that follows. It is not just a fight of force, but also of ideas and morals, as people deal with the unexpected effects of their technical progress. The future takes place in unknown land, where the lines between maker and creation are fuzzy. This makes the world as we know it ready for a huge change. 2. The Plague of Dreamers. In the second part of his 2024 forecast, Nostradamus describes a strange event called the Dreamer's Plague. This part of his vision is about a worldwide illness that is not like other illnesses. People are falling into a deep, never-ending sleep because of this plague that affects the mind and spirit. This event goes beyond what a physical situation can explain. People who are affected are stuck in a never-ending loop of sleep and can't fully wake up. People from all walks of life are giving in to their overwhelming need to sleep, which is causing problems in society as a whole. In Dragon's Grasp, a sleepy fog. World's tired eyes in a dreamy haze. Dreams and reality, a dance that hasn't been told. Sleep's fortress holds the secrets of sleep. The quatrain beautifully says what this plague is all about. In a symbolic way, dragon's grip refers to how strong and widespread this phenomenon is, since dragons are a sign of power and mystery. The world is covered in a slumberous haze that makes it hard to tell the difference between dreams and real life. Since dreams and reality are connected, the prophecy seems to be talking about something deeper, maybe even spiritual. It's not just a physical illness, it's a change in how we see the world. People aren't just sleeping, they're traveling to parts of their minds that haven't been studied yet, which could reveal secrets about the human mind that were kept secret. This part of Nostradamus' predictions for 2024 makes you think about the lines between the awareness and the subconscious, which leads you to a better understanding of the mind's secrets. As a symbol, the Dreamer's Plague is an event that changes people and makes them want to look beyond the real world and into their own hearts. 3. The Struggle of the Snake. The third prophecy for 2024, called the Serpent Strife, is about politics. It describes a time of chaos caused by the acts of a strong leader. This figure, which looks like a snake, represents the dragon year's power, uncertainty, and ability to both make and break things. As this leader comes into power under the dragon's sign, conflicts around the world rise. His choices and actions are in line with a historical pattern. Dragon years are times of great upheaval and change. The prophetic words say that this leader's power goes far beyond his own area and affects the whole world. A storm wakes up in the dragon's shade. The desire of a leader can shake the world. I can hear the tension's song from north to south. In Dragon's Dance, what is right and what is wrong? These words beautifully express what this time of trouble was like. The title, In the Dragon's Shadow, makes it sound like this year's events are highly affected by the traits of the Chinese zodiac dragon, which are charm, control, and a tendency for big changes. A tempest wakes means that trouble and conflict are about to start. The quatrain goes on to talk about how this leader's desire causes unrest around the world. His actions, which were both brave and careless, cause waves that affect many countries and raise tensions from north to south. This use of metaphorical language suggests that the effects may be felt by many countries and lead to new alliances and strategies. The tension song shows how tense things are, and, in the Dragon's Dance, right and wrong, hints at the moral and ethical problems that will come up. This line makes it sound like this year's events will make us rethink what morals and leadership mean, which could lead to new political readings and ties around the world. Overall, the Serpent Strife is a prediction of a year with big changes in geopolitics, led by an attractive but uncertain leader. This is similar to how the Dragon Year was complicated and had many sides. The fourth forecast, the Phoenix's Rise, is a metaphor for a famous politician's comeback in 2024. It is like the mythical phoenix rising from the ashes. This prediction leads to a rough but important return to politics, one that will be marked by disagreement, debate, and maybe even a change in the way politics are done. The person in question, who was once very important in politics, comes back into the public eye in a time of chaos and separation. Like the mythical phoenix, who can recover and be born again after dying, his comeback is both sudden and dramatic. A lot of people have strong and different reactions to this event. Chaos stirs in the world, taking on a dark form again. Discord, fights, and a wild dance make it so that only the brave can take a chance. The main idea of this forecast is summed up in the quatrain. "In the shadowy guise reborn" refers to a return that is clouded by disagreement and doubt. The figure's goals and abilities are the subject of a lot of discussion and speculation. "Chaos stirs, a world forlorn" describes the rough conditions that this comeback takes place in, indicating a time of doubt and instability. When the figure re-enters the political stage, he exacerbates existing disagreements and starts new ones, as shown by the line, "Division, strife, in tumultuous dance." The line, "Only the valiant may seize a chance," suggests that this time, despite its problems, may also offer chances for brave and decisive leadership, which could result in big changes in the political order. Because of this, the forecast isn't just about a politician coming back. It's also about rebirth, resilience, and how power lasts. It makes a point of showing how political powers change over time and how random the political play can be. The Phoenix's rise is a political term for rebirth and change. It stands for a time when old power structures are tested and new ones can take their place. Nostradamus's fifth prediction, the digital gold rush, talks about how the rise of independent digital currencies will cause a big change in the way the world handles money. People want to be financially independent and safe, which is why this change shows a move away from standard monetary systems. Everyone is moving their trust and value from traditional currencies to digital assets. This is what the forecast is all about. These new kinds of money, which come from cryptography and blockchain technology, are an option to the way money has always been handled. The fake gold and silver coins that were swollen and then thrown into the lake after being stolen were found to be empty and worthless because of the debt. There will be no scrips or stocks left. The quatrain quietly shows how old financial systems are falling apart and digital assets are rising to the top. The copies of gold and silver inflated could mean that traditional forms of currency are losing value and trust, which is why they are likened to being thrown into the lake. All is exhausted and dissipated by the debt, and all scrips and bonds will be wiped out, could mean that there is a crisis in the traditional financial sector, which could be caused by too much debt and lack of trust in financial institutions. This situation makes it possible for digital currencies to become more popular as a safer and more independent choice. The digital gold rush represents a big change in how people think about worth and how they do business. It shows a future where independent digital assets are very important to the world economy, competing with standard banking systems and changing what it means to be wealthy. This forecast points to a time of adapting and changing as governments and societies figure out how to fit these new financial tools into the current economic system. Getting ready for 2024. Why we shouldn't believe what Nostradamus said. A critical analysis. People are still interested in and fascinated by Nostradamus's predictions, but a closer look shows why we should be careful and skeptical as we consider his claims for 2024 and beyond. Lack of clarity. Nostradamus' quatrains are famous for not being clear or specific. People who follow him can use them to explain almost anything after the fact because they can be interpreted in many different ways. Because he isn't being detailed, it's hard to figure out exact details or dates in his statements. Post-diction versus prediction. Many of Nostradamus's claimed predictions are actually cases of post-diction. This means that his followers try to connect past events to his prophecies after they have already happened, instead of correct statements about what will happen in the future. This practice makes it hard to tell the difference between real predictions and meanings that were added after the fact. Cherry-picking. People who believe in Nostradamus's predictions often do something called cherry-picking, which means they pick out the lines that seem to match up with real events and ignore the ones that don't. This biased reading makes confirmation bias stronger and gives him more credit than he deserves for being a prophet. The Barnum effect. The Barnum effect is a psychological condition in which people take vague or general comments to mean something specific to them. It can happen with Nostradamus's works. Historical background. Nostradamus wrote during a time when Europe was going through a lot of political and religious change. His poems often made references to people and events from the present, which makes them hard to use in the present day. Also, a lot of the time, he made predictions using the words and symbols of his time, which can be hard to understand now. Failed statements. Nostradamus has a history of making statements that didn't come true. A lot of the things he said would happen never did, and some of what he said about past events was very far off. Some of Nostradamus's predictions are thought to have come true. The end comes with a dancing horse and 9 circles. Century 1, quatrain 35. Some people connect this to the 9/11 attacks, seeing the dancing horse as the US flag and the 9 circles as the floors of the World Trade Center. In single combat, the young lion defeats the elder, piercing eyes through a golden cage, merging 2 wounds. A cruel death follows. Century 1, quatrain 35. This is said to be a reference to Henry II of France's death in a jousting accident in 1559. The Great Fire of London in 1666 is linked to the line, "Demand for just blood in London, fire in 66, the ancient ladies fall, and many of the same sect slain." Century 2, quatrain 51. Some people think that a great maritime city plagued until just blood is avenged, a high lady wronged by deceit, Century 2, quatrain 6, is a prediction of the AIDS epidemic, with maritime city standing for New York City and condemned for a price without crime, representing the high cost of getting sick without meaning to. The end. To sum up, Nostradamus's statements are still very interesting, but a close examination shows important reasons to be skeptical. His mysterious lines continue to fascinate and interest, but they need to be more specific and reliable in order to make accurate predictions. The historical background, the use of post-diction, and cherry-picking make them even less credible. As we approach the year 2024, we need to use modern methods and research based on facts to guess what will happen. Putting too much faith in predictions that were made hundreds of years ago could make it harder for us to understand things logically and be ready for the unknowns of tomorrow. Useful links. The main work of Nostradamus, Les Prophéties, the forecasts, has hundreds of quatrains with statements and forecasts. Nostradamus, the Complete Prophecies, by Mario Reading, is a book that takes a close look at Nostradamus's quatrains and talks about how they have been interpreted and the arguments that have been raised about them. The Man Who Saw Tomorrow, by John Hogue, is a book that looks at Nostradamus's predictions and tries to figure out how they connect to events in the past and the future. Nostradamus, A Life and Myth, by William S. Bush, is a detailed history of Nostradamus that also looks at how his predictions have been interpreted and used over the years. The book, The Complete Prophecies of Nostradamus, by Henry C. Roberts, has versions of Nostradamus's original quatrains, along with comments and explanations. Thanks for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, please like and follow. Let us know what you think in the comments.